I'm like driving going just like making sure she's alive and like still breathing. Like I was genuinely scared, so scared in that moment to like look back and see like a blue face. Some ASMR coffee drinking for you. You know, I've been thinking about doing ASMR, like starting my own TikTok page, just dedicated to ASMR. Have you seen those TikToks of the women with the or theys or hims, with the very long nails that go around in the store and just go like clink 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 clink? I want to do that. I want to be nail clinking ASMR TikToker. It's been kind of a busy past few days. Oh, I almost spilled my coffee. Oh my god. I need to be more careful. I'm gonna put it right here on my laptop. But hello, hi, welcome back to the Loving Motherhood podcast. I am so happy you're here. Once again, it's been a long time since I've recorded, but we're gonna just ignore that and move on. I am using this opportunity this very, very tiny opportunity that I have to record while my daughter is still sleeping. We have been out and about today. We went and bought these adorable necklaces from this place called the Traveling Penny. And it's like, you basically just go, you pick out what type of chain you want, and they have a bunch of charms that you can choose from. It's not really like my style, but first of all, the concept is just absolutely adorable. I love that you get to like design your own necklace. And they also like fit it to you. So you can like get the necklace the length that you want, get the bracelet the exact size that you want, and have the exact like arrangement of charms the way that you want it. It was just super cute. Like the selections for the silver were very limited. I'm hoping that they're going to add more because the gold was like kind of the star of the show. But they had an adorable kid section where you can get a mini necklace for kids under 10 years old, and the charms, you get to pick 5 charms, and they're a bunch of different colorful charms. Fun for the kids, you know. They were really thinking about the kids and the parents too, because it was $25 total to get a kid necklace with 5 charms total. Are you kidding me? Yes, it's a steal, and they're like very good quality. Anyways, I don't know why I'm so excited about it, because I literally never wear bracelets or necklaces, but I kind of like want to make it like my new thing, like go back, add some more charms. I got what seems to me like a tarot card. I got like a tarot card vibe type of charm, and then I got a little Saturn and a little star, and you can get them spaced out the way that you want. And originally he had put them on like super spaced out, not super spaced out, but just like spaced out, and I was like, that don't look right. And he was like, you can cluster them, and I was like, you know what, yes, it needs a cluster. So I got them clustered, and I love the way they like jingle against each other. I love that. Yeah, so that's what we did today. I finally got to go with one of my girlies, and I took my daughter with me. I got her own little necklace, and she is pooped, so she is asleep right now. I'm actually surprised that I was able to keep her asleep from the car into the house. Not only that, but get all of this set up and actually have time to sit down and record. I didn't think I was going to be able to do it, but it seems that we have accomplished it, so I'm happy to be here. I really am. But yeah, it's been a busy couple of days. We're going to the beach this weekend, so I've just been trying to get the stuff done before then. It's like crackdown time. You've got to be joking me. You've got to be joking me. My second camera is, for my second angle here, has just run out of storage. You've got to be joking. Okay, well, brief intermission while I delete some stuff. Okay, that was so annoying. I apologize for any different camera angles or whatever the fuck. That was so annoying. I'm really gonna have to go through my phone, which is my second camera, okay? Don't tell anybody. I'm gonna have to go through my phone and really just clean it out. Maybe that's what I'll do while I have downtime at the beach. I am so freaking excited, y'all. I have not been to the beach since last summer, which I guess isn't not normal. But I just love a beach vacation these days. Now that I have my own child, I can't explain it, but beach vacations as a mother. Oh my God, did y'all hear that? Oh my goodness. I apologize for the interruption. My body is telling me eat, but it's gonna have to wait, okay? This podcast needs to happen. I have been saying over and over again that I need to be more consistent with this podcast because I love it. I love it. I've spent so much time, doing up the set, and I just love talking, and I just want this platform to work. Okay, so we're making it work. Stomach, you're gonna have to shut up for now. We will eat later. This is my only time. Anyways, moving on from that distraction. There's something about a beach vacation when you're a mother that just hits different. Obviously, like growing up as a kid, the beach is always super fun. But, and don't get me wrong, the beach as a parent is stressful in ways that like you would honestly expect. But I have just never felt the way that I feel that I do when I'm on a beach vacation with my daughter and my husband. And we're going with in-laws, so we'll have other family there as well, but there's just something about it, like something in the air, something in the breeze there that just makes me so happy and so contented and just feel so at peace with just life. And I just feel so close to my cute little family that we have. Like I just feel closer than ever to my daughter and my husband when we go on vacation. Because it really is just such a rare experience to have. It's rare because, you don't often take off a whole week of your normal routine to go and just like enjoy your life and have fun and be able to actually spend time together. Because I think that's one thing that's just the hardest of, parenting in general and having a single family income is, my husband is always working, so it's hardly ever all of us together for very long. And so when we go on vacations, it's finally that time together that we just need, that we are so robbed of because of the everyday routine that comes with living in the world that we live. You gotta work, you gotta do the boring things, you gotta spend time away from each other in order to survive. My husband's gotta go to work and I gotta stay home and watch the kid, and then on weekends he's gotta stay home and watch the kid and I gotta go to work. And so we hardly have that time, that true quality time to spend together and just have fun. It's rare these days, and it's sad to think that that's so rare, but it's just one of the harsh realities that comes with starting a family and being in this economy. I mean, this economy is actually ass right now, so it's hard to just have time to yourself when you're just so busy living and surviving and trying to get by. So I'm so excited for the beach, and I know that Alina, my girl, is excited. My husband's super excited. We're all so excited. So you can imagine my dismay when was it? It was yesterday, which was Wednesday. We leave on Saturday of this week. Okay, so yesterday, my daughter starts throwing up. And I'm thinking, oh no. Oh no, 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 no. Like universe, you cannot be getting me sick now. Okay, you cannot be getting us sick now. This week. Why this week? Yeah, so she started throwing up like, yesterday night. And then that morning the morning of yesterday, she was kind of still throwing up a little bit. Other than like the throwing up, she seemed fine. Okay. And she was only throwing up like a little bit, just seemed like a little bit of an upset tummy. And I had just chalked it up to the mass amounts of sugar she had the day before because she kept sneaking. Y'all, we've had to start locking the pantry and the fridge because she will just go in and find all the sweets. We'll hide the sweets. Oh, but she'll find them. Oh, yeah. Leave it to Elena to find all the sweets. So earlier this week, I bought a box of cookies, and I had already bought her a whole jumbo cookie from Panera that day, but she decided to go and sneak into the pantry without me looking and eat half the box of cookies that I had bought her to save her, at least a month. No, she had ate half of it in one sitting. I didn't notice because I was cleaning something, okay? A mom's gotta live. I was doing something outside the room and I didn't notice. Okay, sue me. Okay, sue me. I wasn't in the room. I didn't see her get to the box of cookies, so she ate it. So I had chalked up all of the puking to be from a bellyache from too many sweets, which has happened in the past. She eats too many sweets. She feels a little sickly. So I was like, I think it's going to be okay because she started feeling fine. She had no other symptoms than the puking, okay? Slight puking. It wasn't like, waterfalls. It was like, little spits up, little spits up, kind of like an acid reflux vibe. I don't know why I'm getting so detailed with this. This is part of the Loving Motherhood podcast, okay? We talk about nasty shit because motherhood is fucking nasty. Anyways, speaking of nasty motherhood, puke. So we had been dealing with some pukey situation, okay? She seemed fine. She seemed better. Again, I chalked it up to the too many sweets that she had the day before, the cookies that she had stolen. And she, bounces back, by late morning, she was fine. So I decided to take her to a playground because that's what she wanted to do. And I'm a good mom and I wanted to keep her happy. So we took her to a playground. We were only at the playground for like an hour. Okay, and that's when she comes up to me and she is like, I am not well, I need to go home. I mean, she didn't say I am not well. She's 3, moving to 4, but she does not have that cadence, that vocabulary yet. But basically she came up to me and she was like, something ain't right. She didn't look very good. And so we had to leave, and that was so unlike her. So I knew something was up because we had left the playground after only an hour of being there. That is not like her at all. Okay, we are usually there for 3+ hours, and I have to pry her away from the swings, okay, in order to leave. No, she was like, we need to go home, okay? And that's when I knew that something was off. And I started getting really, really, really nervous. She started getting super lethargic all of a sudden. Like I had to carry her out. She couldn't even walk to the car. Oh, I hear her crying for me right now. I'm going to have to go deal with that. I will be back. We are going to get this podcast recorded, okay? It is going to happen. It is going to happen. But give me a second, okay? I'm sorry if the camera angles are weird. If the editing is off. I almost had a crash out. Oh, I'm holding this wrong. I think that's how I had it. Yeah, I literally almost had a crash out because for some reason, the one thing that my daughter wanted, which was the TV, was the one thing that decided to just stop working as soon as I went down there. And I was super frustrated because I only have so much battery left on my devices to get this done. I have to say, before I continue with my daughter's pukey story, 3 and 4 are the most neediest. I mean, obviously, like when they're babies, they need, like, literally, like, physically need you. But, like, just the entitlement with the 3 and 4-year-olds. Like, you really are at their beck and call. And I have to literally remind my child that I am not her slave. I am not her servant. Because it's something every single second of the day. Every single second of the day, they need something. And half the time, it's, just to say mommy and get your attention because you're not paying attention. And then, they don't really need anything, but they need your attention. Anyways, I'm getting sidetracked. That's just one of the most frustrating things that I've noticed about this age is just every second. It's mommy, 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 mommy. And they just want to be near you. It's not that they really even need anything. Your attention just needs to be on them all the time, all the time. Or it will be meltdowns. So yeah. Anyways, I was talking about my daughter's strange, sudden illness. We were getting to the good part too. We were getting to the juicy part, of course, till I get interrupted. I swear that's always how it goes. Always. We left the playground early. I knew something was wrong with my daughter. She was super lethargic. I had to carry her to the car. And in that moment, I'm thinking like, oh my God, like, is it just like, is she sick, or is it something, more serious? When you're mom, your mind suddenly goes to like all of the dark possibilities that could be going on, because that's your job. Your job is to like literally figure out what's wrong and which course of action to take. And half the time you don't know what's wrong and you're just guessing. And so you don't know which course of action to take. And that's kind of the situation I found myself in. I put her in the car. She was white as a ghost. She was just so out of it. And I'm like driving going, just like making sure she's alive and like still breathing. Like I was genuinely scared, so scared in that moment to like look back and see like a blue face and just all the wrong things happening, literally death happening. So the car ride home was super stressful. She eventually had a big puke in the car. It was all over herself. I couldn't have prevented it in time, even if I tried. So yeah, she ended up puking all over herself in the car. At that point, I was like, okay, here are my options. Okay, this is where I'm starting narrowing it down, trying to get, my course of action a bit more clear. Okay, I was like, okay, so she's clearly like dealing with some stomach issue, and my mind is like, oh my God, did she get into like like a cleaning solution, like chemicals? Like, is this like, something that she ingested that she's, that's going to poison her? Because I remember, like, I'm going through every single day of the week and every instance she possibly could have ingested something that she wasn't supposed to ingest. Because I'm like, there's no way that this is like a sickness. She doesn't have any other symptoms. Like, is this an illness? Obviously, with the beach trip being right around the corner, the other half of my fears is going towards, well, crap, like she's coming down with the flu or a virus or something, and that means we're going to get it in the next few days, which means we're just not going to be able to go to the beach at all, and we're going to have to cancel. And so my mind is just going like a million miles a minute trying to figure out what's wrong and like all the possible things that could just domino off of this. So again, I'm going through my mind like, could it be a virus? Could she have gotten something? Could she have like literally ingested something poisonous? And I remember thinking like she got into the cabinets under the sink the other day to get the air freshener. Because when I came into the room, again, this is all going to make me look like a terrible mom. But you cannot watch your child like a hawk every single second of the day if you want to actually live your life. So this was just one of those instances where she did something, without me noticing. And she had gotten in under the sink and gotten to this little air freshener. What are they called? The like Febreze things that you spray to make the air freshen. Air freshener. She had gotten into that and she sprayed the air freshener. And when she told me that she had sprayed the air freshener and I, had found that had happened, I immediately made her go wash her hands. So I remember thinking this in that moment, after she just puked all over herself, maybe she had ingested some of the air freshener, or maybe when she went under the sink to get the air freshener, she ingested something else from under there. I mean, that sink is, usually filled with cleaning products. So of course my mind's going to the worst. I'm like, oh my gosh, we're going to have to call poison control. And then my mind starts connecting some more reasonable dots. And I remember that the day before, because in my mind I'm like, well, it could be an ingestment of like really, really bad poison. like an actual poison, or or it could be food poisoning. It could be, a lesser evil of poisons. And so again, I'm thinking all of this in the span of like, after she threw up, this is where my mind is going. So the entire ride home, I'm like, could it be this? Could it be this? Could it be this? Could it be this? As I'm, going through all of the options, I remember the day before she had drunk she had drunk out of a bottle in the playroom. And I remember thinking in that moment, see, this is where the mother's mind goes. We trace back every single little thing. Because, like, what else are you supposed to do? Like, you have to be on top of your shit if you ever want to make the right choices for your kids. So, yeah, I remember distinctly her drinking from a bottle in the playroom the day prior to this. And in that moment when she drank out of the bottle, I remember thinking, I didn't give her that bottle. And in my mind, I was like, that's definitely an old bottle. But in the moment, didn't really think anything of it because, again, like it was just, something she did so quick. She took a swig out of something. I was like, don't think I gave her that bottle, think that was an old bottle. But my mind is like, probably just water, juice. If it was milk, it was just a sip. I couldn't have stopped it at that point. Like, and she after she drank it, she was like, So, in my mind, I'm thinking, well, if it was spoiled milk, she wouldn't have been going, So I was like, no problem, no worries. Life goes on. Well, fast forward to the puke situation in the car and me going through all of these possibilities that could have happened. I'm like, maybe the bottle did have milk and this is food poisoning. And what I'm about to say is going to make me sound like a horrible mother. Okay. But in this moment, I was like, God, I hope it's food poisoning. God, please be food poisoning. I remember praying to my angels, please let her be okay. Let it be something that will pass. Let it be food poisoning, please. Because I'm thinking about it being so many other things that are so much worse, so much more dangerous, or just so much more like detrimental, to our life in the present moment. I'm thinking like, if it's the flu, like not only are we going to have to cancel the beach trip, but I'm going to inevitably get it and we're going to be out sick instead of at the beach. And I'm like thinking like, why do I need to get sick now? Like life is going so good. I'm literally cursing the world in this moment in time, like, fuck, like this can't be happening, we can't be getting sick, or fuck, she can't possibly have gotten into something poisonous, like she could die. Like, again, the mother's anxiety, the mother's angst is just it's crippling. Okay. So I'm praying that it's food poisoning in this moment, and as I'm driving home, all I can think about is going to check that bottle to see what's in it, because that bottle is going to answer a lot of my questions. Because again, if it's water and juice, it's not food poisoning. So it's something else. It's one of the other 5,000 things that could be so horrible. And if it's milk, then it's probably most definitely food poisoning, because it was an old bottle, so that would have been spoiled milk. So I get home, I get her completely washed and, situated and comfortable, and, she's already got some life back into her because she literally puked out all of the death, all of the nastiness. But she's already like looking a bit better. I get her, comfy on the couch, get her all cleaned up, and I immediately, when I have the chance, I rush to the playroom and I grab the bottle. And thankfully, this is gonna sound so horrible, thankfully it was spoiled milk. Okay, and it's almond milk, and it had only been sitting there for like a day, maybe 2 days max. But it was still an old bottle nonetheless. I knew that. I remember giving her that bottle, and I knew it was an old bottle, and it didn't smell like rancid. It didn't have like mold or anything in it. It wasn't clumpy or chunky. Again, it had only been sitting there for like a day or two, but it definitely didn't smell fresh. Smelled a little bit poison like. No, it definitely wasn't a fresh bottle. So in that moment, I'm like, okay, it's most likely food poisoning, because I've had food poisoning in the past, and all of her symptoms just made sense to me. And so I used my discernment and decided to call it food poisoning for the time being. And honestly, I felt relief. I was like, thank God. Oh my goodness. But still, like, you need to monitor it and make sure. And I told myself, if she's not feeling better, by the next day, then we definitely need to take her to the doctor. But literally, like, after she took a 30-minute rest on the couch after the big puke in the car, she was up, she was ready, she was ready to go. She was fine. So I was like, okay, this is definitely some sort of food poisoning, stomach ache situation. So yeah, that happened. She's still feeling a bit under the weather today, which is, again, normal for food poisoning. I'm still monitoring it. I'm still a little bit scared that it could be something else, like the FLU. But I don't think it is. I really don't. Again, when you're a mom, or just like a parent in general, you really just have to use your own discernment. You're the person who makes all these decisions for your kids. You're the person who decides whether or not they go to the doctor. You're the person who decides everything. You're the person who decides everything. So when they get sick, it's really your discernment on what to do. And nobody teaches you these things. Nobody gives you a rundown or a lesson of, what to do in these situations. You just got to figure it out. And so that's what I do. Every time she gets sick, I just use my own discernment. And I am not the type of mom to just like rush my kid to the doctor, like at any, ill symptom that they get. I'm not anti-doctor, but I'm not like pro, like, relying on the doctor for everything. I feel like sometimes our bodies just kind of have to like run its course through things. And the doctor can only do so much for a lot of the things our bodies go through, food poisoning being one of those. So I was monitoring her, make sure she was getting lots of fluids and eating. And again, she was up and at 'em shortly after we had arrived home after that whole catastrophe. So yeah, it's just like really like you gotta just like kind of watch it and then decide and, go from there. So other than all of that, she seems perfectly fine. She's just been a little like tired lately, or she's just been tired since the whole thing started. It just seems that she's just been tired, which I get that way. What's funny about this whole thing is that I recently got food poisoning, not once, but twice in the span of like a month and a half. So it's super weird that like we went from never having food poisoning in our lives ever to having like 3 cases of it in the last like 4 months, not even. What are the odds? What are the odds of that happening? But yeah, I got food poisoning a few months ago from an Impossible Burger, which I didn't even know was, well, I knew it was possible to undercook an Impossible Burger. I just didn't know like you could actually get food poisoning from it, which inevitably you can. So the more you know. I got food poisoning from that. And then like a few weeks after that, I got food poisoning from, it was either canned tuna or like white rice that had already gone bad, even though, again, that one still puzzles me where I got that food poisoning from. It was probably the tuna. I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, that happened. And so I had recently experienced food poisoning, which is what kind of led me to that conclusion, because I was like, all of these symptoms remind me of what I went through, where I was just like feeling pukey, it would come and go, and then just like tired and feverish, but no other symptoms. So yeah, we still got to monitor it. We still have one more day before we have to leave for the beach. So I'm giving it the rest of today and tomorrow to like really determine if I was right in my judgments. But moral of the story, it's hard. It's so hard dealing with responsibilities like this as a mom because, again, there's no manual for this. No one tells you, exactly what to do when your kid has this symptom. And thank God for Google, because if I was a mother in another time where Google wasn't a thing, I don't think I would have. I think I would have been that mom that rushes to the doctor for every single little symptom, because if it weren't for Google, I wouldn't be able to make my own discernments. Like this morning, I was literally Googling, like, does this happen with food poisoning? What is this symptom in a toddler? Yada yada. Like I was Googling all the things because I just wanted to be certain. I had to be sure of, my course of treatment for my daughter. And obviously, when I am at a loss and I have no idea what's going on, I take her to the doctor. Obviously, when in doubt, take him to the doctor. I almost just rushed her immediately to the doctor, on the way home from the playground, and she like puked all over herself. I almost just like immediately took her to urgent care. But again, I'm the type that's like, we don't absolutely have to until we absolutely have to. You feel me? You don't absolutely have to go to the doctor until like you have literally no idea what else to do, And in this moment, I had a lot of like discernments. I was discerning, okay? I was figuring it out. I was playing mommy detective, if you will. See, moms are detectives if you think about it. We're detectives. We have to use what's given to us and come up with a conclusion, We have to draw a conclusion from thin air. Literally every day, not just when your kid's sick, like if your kid's misbehaving, if your kid is talking back to you, if your kid is lying to you and sneaking behind your back and getting cookies out of the pantry. Like you have to come up with ways to handle that. I mean, again, there's no manual for this shit. There's no manual. Okay, so we just have to like do it. Okay, they're like, yep, you have this life. I have nothing else to say to that. You got this life, and you gotta raise it, and you gotta keep it alive, and you gotta keep it well and healthy. And I think that's where so much of mom anxiety stems from, is just being the sole responsibility and decision maker for this life when you've been given no teachings or grounds on what to go off of or what to go on or what to do. Like, again, you're just thrown into it. With that, you're going to make mistakes. So hopefully me deciding that it's food poisoning was not a mistake, and hopefully by tomorrow she'll be perfectly fine. All in all, she is fine. Don't worry about her. She's alive. She's healthy. She's eating. She's drinking. We are not in dire circumstances, which is what leads me to believe that it's a less severe illness like food poisoning versus all of the other places my mind was going to. So, I've actually been talking for quite a while about this. I'm sorry if I'm boring you. But yeah, that was kind of my chaotic week, and my mom stressor of the week. Okay. And I just wanted to talk about that because, like, it's crazy to think that my mind was able to go back and like identify all of the possible dangers that we could have been facing. And I honestly want to give myself a little pat on the back for like being able to like go through that week and think, what could have possibly caused her to be this sick? And I think that's just like one of the superpowers. That's one of the superpowers you get. It's one of the superpowers that you get when you become a parent, is the ability to like force your mind to think of every single possible danger that could hurt your child. And honestly, that's where, like I said, mom anxiety stems from. It's just like that constant need to protect your child from every single little danger. And I'm proud of myself for being able to remember like all of those little things, but I was kind of able to like figure it out, and I feel kind of cool for that. I feel like a good mom for that. Despite the fact that she got under the sink into some air freshener and also was able to take a big swig out of an old bottle, despite that, I feel like I accomplished a little bit of motherhood this week, right? These are just the types of things that I cannot ramble about to anyone that isn't a mom, because you don't get the stress, you don't get the level of anxiety and stress in these situations until you become a parent and you're like in one of these situations. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about that. And I think that's where I'm going to leave today's episode. Thank you so much for listening. If you are still here, I love you. And I always say I'm going to try to be more consistent with this podcast, but life just gets so crazy. I'm getting a haircut today. Side note, I'm getting a haircut today. I'm going to get my bangs trimmed and I'm just going to get a few inches off because I prefer like the shorter haircut look these days. And when we go to the beach, I just want it to be out of the way. So I'm excited. Get to show it off. If you want to see my new haircut and you are only on the audio format, check out my YouTube. It's mamajen.lovingmotherhood, I think, is the ad. I'll have it all linked down below. If you're watching and you want to listen to this on audio format, again, I'm on Apple and Spotify podcasting. Also, please check out my other socials. I have a vlog channel. I'm actually uploading a new vlog this week, and I have a TikTok that I'm very, very active on. So if you're interested, please check out my other socials. Again, it will all be linked down below. And once again, thank you so much for listening. And I will talk to you in my next episode. Peace. Bye.